15th is when all that micro finesse stuff is supposed to land at Tackle Warehouse. All right, we've got 3 left. Next one up, Shimano Armajoint. There was a bunch of talk about this bait at the show, and there was a bunch of chatter online about this bait during the show. I've already fished it. I've already caught fish on it. I like this bait. So this is the Shimano Armajoint. It's a very, very different bait. When I look at it, my first thought was herring lakes, big spotted bass. And I do think it will shine there. So this is a floating bait, but when you retrieve it, it will dive. So if you really bomb it out there and you're fishing it, it'll get down about 3 foot. If you're slow working it, you can work it either on top, like a wake, or just below the surface. Same concept as a Jackal Gantarelle. That's a floating bait that as soon as you start working it, wants to go subsurface. Same deal here. So you're fishing in the upper portion of the water column. Now this bait, late September, I believe, is when the Armajoint is supposed to be here. So things that make this unique. Number 1, flash boost. When you stop that bait, that is still in there doing its thing, flashing around. And in this, they call it Arma Boost. In fact, they printed it right on the back of the bait, Arma Boost. That right there, where that continues to flash, is secondary action. You're working that bait, you stall it, fish comes up, he's sitting there looking at it, and that's in there flickering. That's what a lot of baits can't replicate. The real thing, bait fish in the water, their gills are moving, their scales are flashing, their fins are flicking. There's a lot of movement, a lot of shimmer going on that a traditional solid-bodied bait cannot replicate. That does a great job of replicating secondary movement, and fish crush it. Very unique joint. Look how much this thing will collapse. You don't see that in a swim bait very often. Completely collapses on the cast. It casts really well. Very unique tail. And there's a note in there about not storing it with other baits. So they made the tail easy to take off, but you're never gonna lose it. So it goes on this pin, and then you just stretch it up in there. And it's a very, I don't know what the material is. It's an extremely elastic material. It comes with a spare tail, but again, I don't know that you'll ever need one. This thing is super durable, and it just pops right in and out. And then these hook hangers are really, really unique. Notice how high the hooks are sitting against the bait so that they don't tangle if you're being really aggressive. There they're hanging down, but they've got these wires, and you just reach that hook eye up there and just clip it into place so that they don't tangle. They sit a little higher, but a second a fish touches them, they just pop out. Really unique design. They did some very different things with this bait. Now, personally, yes, you can throw it out there. You can work it quick. It's going to be great on herring lakes. Where I saw the sweet spot for me was actually being really slow and methodical. Now, not like this slow winding. That's not what I mean. I was dancing this bait. So, little handle turn, pause, handle turn, pause. And this bait would dance on or just under the surface. With that unique joint that wants to move so much, it would really dance and then sort of curl up and then shoot another direction and curl up. That's how I got my best reaction strikes. Definitely a bait that you can do a lot of different things with. And it is bridging that gap between a big swim bait and a bait that can be thrown on a regular tackle. I was actually throwing this on a 7.4 heavy, not a swim bait rod, like a jig rod. And it fished great on that because, again, the hardware is not that heavy. You could certainly upgrade your hooks if you're trying to catch giants, but you could throw it on big tackle or traditional tackle.